Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, QRPB's Music Crime Time. Welcome new people, welcome those joining again. We are going to be talking about the Belgrade school mass pupilling. 14-year-old teenage boy shot 9 people unalived, including a security guard and a teacher, 7 students. A 14-year-old was arrested in the school courtyard, and then the community was in shock as there has been 2 mass shootings in the space of a week. So I'm just going to play you a video, guys. Once it comes on, hold on. There we go. So this here is a little bit about it. I'll just play it.
A 13-year-old boy killed at least 9 people in a school shooting in the country's capital earlier today.
That's right, and the victims include 8 students and a security guard. Several other children and a teacher were injured in this attack, and police say the suspect was a 7th grade student at the primary school.
Video from the scene shows police leading the suspect away from the school. They say he drew sketches of classrooms and had a list of targets. The teenager actually called police about the shooting himself. CBS News foreign correspondent Imtiaz Tayeb is following the situation for us. Imtiaz, so we know police has the suspect in custody. His father, though, was also arrested. What can you tell us about this?
Lana, Errol, so good to be with you, but a really terrible story. It's not often we talk about mass shootings in Europe. I know obviously it's a very different situation where you are, but what a grim situation in Serbia with the arrest of a 13-year-old boy after he killed 8 of his classmates, 7 of them girls, 1 of them a boy, and a security guard. We understand 6 other children are very seriously injured, a teacher as well. But the boy, as we've seen in those images, has been taken into custody. We understand he called the police himself to be arrested, although others had called the police as well. Now, we're also hearing that he will not be criminally charged because under Serbian law, children cannot be charged for crimes, even as heinous as this one is. But his father will be charged. What exactly those charges are, we don't know yet. But the reason the father is being charged is because the 2 guns, the 9mm pistols that were used in this attack, belonged to the father. They were legally registered firearms, but of course, this 13-year-old boy was able to have access to them, had 3 magazine rounds with 15 rounds inside of them, and unleashed them on his classmates. Errol, Lano.
It's very dark stuff there, MTRs, and you make those comparisons with the US. Much easier to get weapons in the US, much more difficult in places like Serbia, and you've noted how the father has been arrested. So what more are we learning about this 7th grader's potential motive?
Yeah, it's a really good question, a perplexing question, and one that I'm sure many parents who are grieving in Serbia are asking themselves, particularly those who've lost their children. Just how could a 13-year-old want to do this to his classmates? The short answer is we don't know yet. We have heard reports that he may have been the victim of bullying. Some have even suggested he did poorly on exams. But further to your point, Errol, Serbia is a country which in the 1990s suffered a terrible war, the Balkans War, if you remember. There is a lot of weapons in that country. In fact, it is a country with the 3rd largest number of weapons, and not many of them are registered. But this is also a country which, relative to, say, the U.S. and indeed other countries, has not had a lot of mass shootings. In fact, since 2007, there have only been 4 mass shootings. The most deadly was in 2013, where 13 people were killed, all of which is terrible. But never has Serbia had a mass shooting at a school. Never has Serbia had a 13-year-old, a minor, carry out such a heinous shooting. But that is where that country is as it tries to understand this horrible tragedy.
All right, Imtiaz, thank you.
Thanks, MTRs.
Mental health, I just show myself on here. Not only that, I think they also need help with the gun laws as well as mental health system, as it's failing the youth or whoever is going out and using these guns to shoot innocent people in schools. Yeah, for sure. Forgotten Whisper. Yeah. Yeah, and then like after they've done unaliving these students, they unalive themselves, sort of thing. So it's like it's not really a win-win situation in any case. So I'll just play another video. Right, where are we? Go back. Right. So yeah. We will. This boy here had already planned the attack that he was going to do on the school, so it was pretty.
The deadly scene in Serbia. 8 students and a security guard are dead after a shooting at a school. Now, this happened in the capital city of Belgrade. 6 other students, as well as a teacher, were wounded. A 14-year-old was arrested in the schoolyard in connection to this attack. Police say the boy had opened fire with his father's gun. An investigation into the motive behind the massacre is right now underway.
Prema do sada prikupljenim saznanjima, dete KK u dužem vremenskom periodu planirao je izvršenje ovog krivičnog dela. Motiv još uvek nije utvrđen, niti nam je saopštio da je isti, kako je i sam izjavio, planirao da ovo izvrši. Ovo je bio spisak dece koju je planirao da likvidira. Sam je radio plan ulaza u školu, izlaza u školu koja je nađena na njegovom radnom stolu i, kako je sam rekao ovde, odredio je prioritetne mete. Skica malo izgleda kao iz neke video igrice ili iz nekog horor filma, što ukazuje da je detaljno po razredima škole planirao kako da uđe u koju učionicu i kako da
To mi je drugi čas bio na zadnjem spratu i ja sam se penjela. I dok sam se penjala čula sam zvukove i mislila sam da su to neki dečaci, mislim neka deca bacali petarde i da im je kao bilo zabavno. Ali međutim posle se čulo još bliže i taj zvuk je dolazio od ispred škole. I onda sam videla kako obezbeđenje pao na pod i onda sam trčala brzo da se vratim tamo gde sam i bila jer nisam htela da idem gore, nisam znala ko je gore. I onda sam se vratila tamo gde sam bila sa mojim odeljenjem i nastavnica fizičkog je čula te zvukove i htela da ide da vidi, ali sam joj rekla da su pucali, da sam to čula i da je obezbeđenje pao na pod i onda smo brzo otišli na bezbedno. To je nekako tih i bio je, izgledao je fin i imao dobre ocene, a i nije sam mnogo ni znala o njemu jer nije bio tako otvoren sa svima. A svakako ne bi očekivala da se to desi.
Yeah, I was just going to write down too much of this is going on, and it really needs to be sorted and fixed. I mean, just too much of it. Too many people doing these crimes, you know. Instead of not doing anything about it, do something about it. Help the youth, you know. As Forgotten Whispers said, you know, help the mental health people and the youth people, you know. That's what it should be about anyway, because nothing's really getting done about it at all. So we'll play this one as well.
The 14-year-old gunman was in the 7th grade and he has reportedly been arrested. We can now bring in France 24's Laurent Rouy standing by. Laurent, what more do we know at this hour?
No problem, Forgotten Whispers, no problem.
In this very central area of Belgrade, which is totally locked by the police, and there are still a lot of emergency vehicles coming and going, and a lot of upset parents in front of the school just asking for some news that they do not get. Minutes ago, the Ministry of Interior released a terrible statement about the number of victims, about the count of victims. As you just said it, 9 people were killed this morning, 1 guard of the school and 8 children, while the teacher of this very classroom is wounded and she is now under surgery in an emergency hospital, as well as 6 other children. So it's a terrible event. The shooting happened after one kid from this class opened fire, apparently with no reason. He used a pistol that apparently belonged and was legally detained by his father. The kid is described as a non-problematic kid, as a good pupil by the other students. So there is absolutely no more information, no clue why this happened in Belgrade this morning. One more information which shall be said is that this kind of mass shooting is something which extremely seldom happens in Serbia. Last mass shooting was in 2015, 8 years ago, in the context of a family drama. Despite it is quite easy for the population to gain access to legal guns, there are not these kinds of incidents in Serbia, so it's a big shock for everyone.
Indeed. Laurent, thank you very much for that update. Laurent Hui reporting there for us from Belgrade.
For us. So I'm the same over my country as well. We haven't ever had a school shooting, I don't think, that I know of. We've never had a school shooting over where I am in my country, which is New Zealand. So sort of similar thing as well. So we'll just carry on with a couple more videos, I think. It's going to be a quick live. So yeah, we'll just carry on anyway. But yes, please like and subscribe, everyone, to my channel. Yeah, so this happened a year ago, guys, by the way, just to let you know. Just trying to find this. Okay, no, not that one. Down a bit more. Oh, well. So, one security guard was killed, one student, I think, and 7 others were injured, I think, here. We will read a bit more about it anyway. And they also had rallies and other things going on because of it. People protesting and that. No, not a problem, Forgotten Whispers. I like covering things like this.
Let's return to our top story and that breaking news that 8 pupils and a security guard have been killed in a school shooting in the Serbian capital, Belgrade. Police have confirmed that the gunman, a pupil at the school, has been arrested. 6 more young students and the history professor are seriously injured. Police say they are investigating the suspect's motives. Well, let's get more on this story and talk to our reporter Alexander Miladinovic, who is in Belgrade and following developments. Welcome to you. Tell us more about what we know about what's happened there.
So far, we know that 8 very young students of primary school in Belgrade, one of the most prestigious primary schools in Belgrade, have been killed in a shooting spree of their fellow student this morning in a classroom during a history class. The gunman also killed a security bodyguard on the way to the classroom, where he shot multiple gunshots. It is for now still speculated where he got the gun from, and there are 6 more very young pupils from the same class, as long as there is also their history teacher, who are in different hospitals in Belgrade, still being treated for the wounds that they suffered this morning at school in Belgrade.
Yeah, and these kind of horrific attacks are very rare in the country, aren't they?
This is basically the first event of this kind in Serbia and in the Balkans. However, the problem of weapons and arms that are still somewhere in the houses of people in the Balkans is big after the wars in the 90s. Also, there was a lot of debate on whether all the arms and weapons is listed and registered and how it's kept and stored. And this event, that is the first of this kind, not only in Serbia but only in the Balkans, will certainly open a big discussion on what has been done in the past.
Yeah, what has the reaction been there to this shocking news?
It is still a lot of shock and a lot of silence, a lot of expectations. What are the life-threatening conditions for the other injured? How many victims are there going to be at the end? The Serbian government has scheduled a press conference in about 2 hours, where they would provide all the details that they came up with, and where also the educational authorities would have their say. But so far, we have only heard from the police that the official number of casualties so far is 8 dead students, 1 dead security guard, 6 people more are being treated in hospitals around Belgrade.
Alexander, stay with us. You are watching BBC News. We're going to have more on this story very shortly, but at this point we say goodbye to our viewers who are watching here in the UK on BBC Two. Plenty more on the BBC channel, so do tune over for that right now. Thanks very much for being with us.
school. Rekla, ja sam jako potrešena jučerašnjim događajem, pogotovo što sam majka dvoje školske, da kažem, maloletne dece i prosto je neverovatno to što se desilo, da nekako sve ono što gledamo u američkom
To what you just said. In the statement, did he give the motive?
Zlikovac je uhapšen i zlikovac više svetlost belog dana videti neće.
U osnovnoj školi Vladislav Ribnikar u 8:40 dečko 7. razreda izašao u hodnike i
Overseas, a shocking scene after a deadly mass shooting at a school in Serbia. A 14-year-old fatally shot 8 fellow students and a security guard today in Belgrade. CTV's Alexandra Pinto is following these developments. She joins us live with the latest. Alex.
Well, Daryl, a teenager was arrested at the school. Police say he drew sketches of classrooms and wrote a list of people he intended to target in an attack he planned for a month. Here's a look at the scene and emergency response as the suspect was being led by officers to a car. The shocking incident prompting panic among parents. The teen first fired at a security guard and 3 students in the hallway of the school and then entered a classroom where a teacher and other students were shot. A local official says that most students were able to flee through a back door. A father of a student at the school said that the shooter entered his daughter's classroom where they ducked under desks. The teen called police himself when the attack was over, and earlier police said that the teen was a student at that school and born in 2009. They say he used his father's gun. 6 more children and a teacher were sent to hospital. Authorities have declared 3 days of national mourning starting on Friday. An investigation into the motive is now underway. Daryl.
CTV's Alex Pinto reporting live. Thanks, Alex.
Police tape still surrounds the entrance of the Vladislav Ribnikar Elementary School in Belgrade. At the entrance, flowers for the dead. The evening before, thousands gathered to pay respect to the victims. The school's security officer and 8 students, 7 girls and 1 boy, all aged between 12 and 14. The nation is in shock. The school is closed as it is still considered a crime scene. The big question now is when and how the students and their peers can return to their classrooms after this. In other schools throughout Serbia, classes started with a minute of silence. The students and the teachers in this elementary school in Belgrade continue their regular activities. Outside, after the bell rang, parents, still shaken by Wednesday's event, were awaiting their children.
The first reaction was a shock. It was something unreal. I was at work when the news came, and the first thought that crossed my mind was, where's my child? And I remember that she's still at home, and I feel a bit relieved. But the feeling is still horrible about what happened.
Parents are afraid of more such incidents, particularly as police say the motive for the attack remains unclear. Some experts are blaming the influence of social media, accusing platforms of making violent behavior the norm.
Our media propagates violence through reality show programs, TV series, and other media content. But above all, they propagate intolerance and vulgarity. Those became the basis for all communication.
The government was also shocked by the event, and the country's president was quick to address the nation. Alexander Vučić announced an extensive gun controls, but admitted that none of them would have prevented the events that occurred in this Belgrade school. Aljoša Milenković, CGTN, Belgrade.
Thanks again for coming to my live. Much appreciated, and I shall see you on the next one in a couple of days. Thanks again, and thank you very much for Golden Whispers for putting that up about the trigger warning. Cool. See you guys next time.